The graphics.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Vowz. It's your host, LaFlower, and
Marcus.
We are super excited that you guys have tuned in tonight. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or one of our podcast platforms, definitely like and subscribe or comment because we want to know that you guys are checking us out. Ask us any questions that you want. Of course, this is Beyond the Vowz, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finance, and everything in between. So, babe, how you doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm definitely happy we got this 3-day weekend. It's just great time to relax, reflect, and spend time with the family. So I'm definitely happy to be here, and we have a great show for you guys today.
We have an amazing show lined up. We got some phenomenal guests, you guys. But before we jump into that, for all the parents out there, y'all know it's about to be summertime. School is about to be out. So how are y'all feeling about school being out? We want to know what plans you have. We normally talk about a great date night place or date suggestions for the moms and dads, but I want to know how you guys are feeling about summer. One of the things that I like to do for the kiddos is we kick off summer with an end of the school party. And so we have lots of fun. We bake lots of treats. We'll go swimming. So we have our end of the school year party planned for pushing through me off. So we have the end of the school year party planned for next Friday. So let us know how you guys plan on kicking off the summer with your family. You ready for summer, babe?
Absolutely not. I've been enjoying the school year. These kids have not been at home, and it's been lovely when those times you're here at the house and you're just able to reflect, read
something, get stuff done,
do some things, get some work done. Of course, love the kids, but you know how summertime is. But I'm also too want to say, if you guys have any suggestions as far as family activities with the kids,
right,
please send us a message. Let us know because we have a ton of kids and we definitely need a lot of activities for these kids to do.
Right.
So if you got some suggestions, we're always open. Anything from sports, water, hiking,
like we're gonna go to Lake Livingston.
It doesn't matter.
Camp. So we have some stuff planned, but we definitely are open to taking all suggestions because you guys know we have this XL family and it takes a lot to do, right? But also one of the reasons why summertime is just interesting is because the bills increase, right? So we want to know, how do you guys budget for summertime? Because it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and about 10 snacks in between. Sometimes I make a summer menu. I have an activity scheduled for the kids each week. So it's so much stuff. But I know dad is like, why?
That light bill.
Really? Yes, so the bills increase. So I want to know, how do you guys plan for summertime when the budget is going to increase just to maintain your household? Because we definitely want to be smart with our finances. And yeah, so you ready for our guest, babe?
Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Now,
are you guys ready?
I gotta bring this bio back up. It's gonna take me like 10 minutes.
Man, it's like a list.
To introduce these two guys.
Let me get out the resume.
Right, they got documentation beyond documentation, guys. No, but this couple, they are phenomenal. I truly love them and just admire how they represent the kingdom of God, because we're supposed to be lights into the kingdom, and they show that in everything that they do, from business to family and all of that. But guys, I'm just gonna read a little bit of the intro so you guys can get ready. Again, if you are watching this, definitely like and subscribe and share, because it's about to go down on Beyond the Vowz tonight, right? So whether a stadium of 105,000 professionals represent represent 90 countries in Las Vegas, or an auditorium of 5,000 students in Texas, or a conference room of 1,500 in Australia, 3,500 in South Africa, or in a living room in a living room of 10 in Kansas, they don't hold back. They don't turn down their shine for nobody, for nothing. They gonna let every demon in hell know they coming. They gonna build it for their last name, and they continue to do it for even more families, helping them build financial freedom. So without further ado, is Jared and Portia in the building?
We are in the building, baby. What's going on?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, my peoples.
Hey guys, welcome to Beyond the Vowz. We're so excited that you guys are taking some time to join us tonight. If you don't mind, take a moment and introduce yourself to the community.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Portia Wilkins, here in good old Richmond, Texas, with my husband, in the Houston area. And so we are here and excited. This is our first time going live together, right? And doing this since we had Aiden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we are new parents to we're parents to a new baby boy. We're not new parents. We got a child, a daughter. She's 12, but we just had our son Aiden, who is 10 months today.
Come get him.
Shout out to the new baby.
Aiden.
Yes.
Yeah, no, come get him, please. I'm calling you.
And he's saying dada and all that. He's loving on daddy. And so this is our first time doing something like this since we had him. So this is exciting.
Sweet. Well, we are honored and blessed that you guys have shared some space with us tonight. And I noticed that you guys said you have a 12-year-old. And we know that 11, 12, 13, that's the ages they start to change a little bit. We're like, who are you? So I'm curious to know, have you guys noticed a minor change in your 12-year-old daughter?
Yeah. It actually started at 10. Girls go through a lot more changes hormonally than boys do, and so it started for her at 10. It's tapered down a little bit. She has her moments where it spikes every now and then it like clicks, and we remind her what's really going on, and so she comes back.
You hear?
Yeah. She comes on back and turns back into the child we raised.
Yes.
I love it. So can you guys share how you guys met? Share how this whole family foundation started. We want the juice.
Well, I was sent from heaven, and the celestial choirs were singing and praising as I landed upon the lap of luxury in her apartment. And no, interestingly enough, we were introduced. I was introduced by a buddy of mine to Portia, and I was introduced because he knew I was a speaker, and I was involved in a business that required a lot of speaking. And he says, "Man, this is a good business, but you should go be a motivational speaker. I've got a friend of mine that is making about $1,200 an hour speaking." And I'm like, "Wow. They're going to pay me $1,200 to speak? Who is this girl?" And so he put me on the phone. I'll never forget. I was at Raw Sushi. Is that Raw Sushi? Was it Raw Sushi?
Raw,
No.
R-A. Raw Sushi?
Was it Raw Sushi? What's the one that's in the Galleria? I think that's the name of it.
Well, Raw Sushi is on West Home.
They got the good wings. But no, that wasn't Raw Sushi. I forget the name of it. But I was at one of these restaurants. And I know I was at this restaurant because I was at the bar, didn't have no money. I didn't have any money. I didn't have no money. But I was in there eating, the pizza, flatbread pizza. And I never forget, he told me about her. And so I get on the phone with her. I talk with her, and she tells me, "No, it's not $1,200 an hour that I'm making. I'm making about $100 an hour." I said, "Oh, no, I can't do that." And so, but we struck up a good conversation from there. And then, of course, connected on Facebook, because Instagram wasn't even out back then.
Instagram didn't even exist then.
Didn't even exist.
Facebook had just got email, like mailing, and it wasn't even the messenger app.
It wasn't a messenger. It was just a regular email inbox.
Yeah, inbox.
So as fortune would have it, I was starting a business. We ended up finding out through our conversation, and it was so organic. The conversation was very, it wasn't forced. It wasn't I wasn't trying to flirt with her. She wasn't trying to flirt. We were just talking, and ended up finding out we had more in common business-wise than we'd actually known. We had been in an organization before and didn't know each other in that organization, but knew some of the same people. So when it came time for me to launch another business, this was in 2009. She was a part of the people that I wanted to be a part of my board of directors because of what she had done, what she accomplished. I just had a healthy respect for her as not just a woman, but as a person. And so I called her. I didn't know she was going through the financial setbacks or, financial challenges that she was going through at the time. And I was dealing with my own stuff. But she was just one of those people that I was like, man, I would love to do some business with her. So I called her. And I didn't call. I messaged her on Facebook, and my incredible message was, "You there?" And she responded. The chat came back up. She responded, and we connected. Over business, talking about growing and building a business together. And from there, we just started working together. And I developed an even stronger respect for her as a woman, as a person. She wasn't trying to use sexuality to impose her way or get her way to the top. She was really working. She was grinding. And I was like, that is admirable. It spoke to me. It just reminded me of my late grandmother. I was raised by her for about 6 years. And just to see the tenacity and the strength that my wife now exhibited that back then. I didn't connect all the two. I just knew kind of what I felt and what I saw and what I experienced from her to the point where when guys would try to come up to her or say something, I would be the big brother that was kind of protective, like, nah, he ain't the right one. And nah, that joker ain't done. I was kind of, dry hating. But anyway, that's not the point. This is not about me. This is about we, right? And so, I'll never forget just the organic nature of us hanging out, really building a friendship. It started off as partners, business partners, then it developed into friendship.
Yeah.
Where we would be talking to each other, talking about different things. People were dying like almost every other week in her family. And I had to step into the role of coach and then advisor and then mentor. And it just seemed so effortless. It seemed so seamless with us. And then I was like, man, I feel something about this woman. I really feel something. And I told her. Yeah, she didn't talk to me for a week.
Tell me you love me.
Yeah, she wasn't ready for all of that, alpha bravado. You know what I mean?
We were just friends, and then you told me you love me, and I'm like, I love you.
Yeah, and I did. I was like, man, I love you. And it was not the eros love. It wasn't the, hey, I'm trying to get with you type of love. It was that it had the phileo, which is that friendship love. Right. But it also I felt like this is somebody I want to provide and protect for. Wow. So it was agape love in there too. And so I told her, I was just telling her, like, dude, I love you. I never forget, I'm sitting on my bed this late at night. I'm like, I love her. There's something about her that just pulls on me. I respect her. I love her work ethic. I love her background. I had met her mom at the time. And, we were all just kind of, I'm like, man, I love her story. I love her, just her grit. I just love her. And I told her, and she disappeared for a week. And
wow.
And so I called the FBI. And, but we talked. I called her. Well, I guess she returned the call about a week later.
I did.
And we started talking through what that meant, that statement meant, and what it would mean moving forward. And so here we are, so many years later, still moving forward.
Yeah, how long do you need to tell her? It was about
months. It was
a year.
Yeah.
It was a year.
About a year.
It was May 2010.
Yep. We started working together in August 2009.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was almost a year.
Almost a year. Yeah, May 2010. And the reason why there was that week of a pause for me was because we're both in network marketing. That's the profession they recruited me in. And I was building my own business. And at that time in that company, you can have 2 positions in one household. So I knew I would have to yield mine in order to pursue the relationship. And then in addition to that, he had a daughter who was 10 months old at the time. I didn't have any children.
Yeah.
And when I wrote down my list of ideal men, number one on that list was he ain't got no kids.
I'm a list breaker. Yes, Shabbat.
So it was like
List breaker.
the reason why I went, I negated all of that and I decided to move forward despite, how I felt or whatever, was because of who he had shown me to be throughout our time working together. All the things he just said about me as far as like how he respected me and all that, he had earned my respect as a man. I have a great relationship with my father now, but coming up I didn't. He was really aggressive. Then I also had another father figure who molested me when I was in junior high school. So these male figures in my life. Then I had another one who was supposed to be a mentor, and me with him to talk business, and he was supposed to help me expand my project, and he wanted sex in exchange for the money. And so I had all these male relationships that were supposed to go one way that I had to completely cut off because they tried to take it a different way. There was heartache, there was disappointment, there was all these things, and he was the first man to enter into my life to be consistent with his character. He never flirted with me. He never made a pass at me. He never made a comment. He never tried to rub up on me. Like none of those things ever. I was dating. I would share with him about who I was dating. Of course, they were never good enough. But and he was in a relationship at the time too. And so it was just a lot of things going on, but just how he carried everything. Yeah. He had earned my respect as a man based on who he had shown me he was. And I said, you know what? I have no reason not to pursue this. I was, I went through my list, like what's wrong versus what's right. And I remember he told me, he was like, if you bet on this horse, we're going to ride. I was like, that's cute. Okay.
I love it. I love it. What you got, babe?
So, I mean, that is a wonderful and beautiful story. He was definitely God sent to you. That's awesome. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But I just got to read because I don't think our audience really understand what you guys do. Y'all movers and shakers. And I just have a little bit of your resume. I just want to read a little bit, and then I'm gonna give you guys the floor to expound on this. Man, they got 20 years of business experience, over 20 years probably. Managed books of business valued over $1.4 billion. Award-winning sales results for Fortune 500 companies, multi-million-dollar direct sales career earners, and Masters of Leadership Development and Deployment.
I'm telling y'all.
Can y'all please tell me what y'all do? And can I get a little bit?
Yeah, that's a collective journey. But my career prior to network marketing and entrepreneurship was in retail. I started working in retail at Express when I was a junior in high school. And I knew then I wanted to be a buyer, and I didn't know how I was going to get to the corporate level, but I just worked in the stores. And then in 2003, when I graduated from college, I got a letter in the mail sent to the store saying they were looking for people to take from the stores to bring to corporate to kind of help bridge the gap. And so I applied for that position. This is after working for the company, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And I had applied for that position. And I was one of 3,000 people who applied, one of 9 chosen, the only person from Texas and the only African American. And so within a year after graduating from Sam Houston State University, I got my marketing degree from there. I was living in Columbus, Ohio, where I was a brand manager for Victoria's Secret Corporate. And I managed their Body by Victoria collection, which was the $1.4 billion collection. So everything about the product, from concept to execution, where it's an actual product in the store, everything from the color of the thread, the color of the fabric, the design, like every single process about it, I had my hands on. I was one of 9 merchants in the company, reported directly to the VP, was in meetings every Monday with the CEO of the company. So I got exposed to a lot fast. Private jets, private planes, Porsches and Bentleys, big mansions, holiday parties, all of that. And so for me, it was a dream job, but then the quality of life just wasn't what I wanted. And so I knew then that entrepreneurship had to be my path. And so I actually left that entire career. and moved back to Houston from Ohio and just started that journey of entrepreneurship. I was doing consulting for different retail stores, Anthropologie, The Gap, and other places here locally, helping with their human resources and staff development. And then I started doing marketing and branding for Sharpstown Mall. I was hustling. So wherever I can go to get a dollar. And that's when he met me too, because I was doing speaking for Monster.com, had this program where they would send you to different high schools and colleges to speak. And that's where the $100 pay was coming from. But then I developed my own programs that I presented to HISD and other districts as well to get me to come in and just pay me directly my fee to come and speak and share with their team, with their students and staff as well. And so that is what I was doing when he reached out to me on social media. And so it was, yeah.
That's amazing. That's so and how about you, Jared? How did you, what was your path before you got into this awesome career with building and developing and coaching and training?
Yeah, I started off in corporate sales. And so I was working for a telecommunications company. I can't tell you the name of it, but its initials are AT&T. And so so I was there. I'll never forget. I was watching a movie called Boiler Room. And it was like a window into the soul of what I felt I wanted to do with my life, because these guys were young. They were in like their 20s. They were suited and booted. They had Ferraris and Lamborghinis and mansions on the hill. And they would go into an office and make sales calls on the phone. And I was like, man, I want to do something like that. So I'm kicked out of my house, my mom's house. Whole different trauma story. I'll tell y'all at another time. But anyway, I'm now living on a friend's couch. I literally have everything I own in some trash bags. And I got one black suit in there. Came up Church of God in Christ, Kojic, so you got to have your black suit. You know, otherwise you ain't making it into heaven. So I ended up having some friends come over to the house. That's how I got into corporate sales. And they came into the house. They were all excited about this, sales job that they were going to be doing. They were describing it, how it worked, and talking about the offices. They were talking about, the computer setup that they had and how they would make it sell. And all I heard when they were speaking was boiler room. So I'm like, do they have any positions open? They said, yeah, here's the number, call them. So I called up to the office. They said, yeah, we're looking to hire somebody. We're looking to hire people. Come on in for the interview. So I said, cool. I get off the sofa. I go dig that black Kojic, suit out of the black trash bags. I ironed it so it's black with a little sheen to it. Because I didn't iron that thing before. Yeah. So it had a little sheen to it. And I had a blue shirt. I didn't have no white shirt. I had a blue button-down shirt, put the little tie on with it. I had my black shoes. I didn't have no polish, so I took some Vaseline. Come on. Dabbed the Vaseline on there, rubbed it in, it shined. Because I've been told they look at your shoes. Took my little resume, went in there, smiled real bright, and they told me you're hired. $9.50 an hour. I was rich. I was 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. I leave there, and my friends that had gotten the job, they were working for the residential side for AT&T. So all of us that had AT&T services at home, they would be the ones calling y'all's houses, trying to sell you long distance, trying to sell you all this other stuff. But because I interviewed well, they said, no, bro, we ain't going to have you calling residential. We want you calling businesses. I said, well, shucks, that's what I'm talking about up in here. What that mean? I'm boiler room in this thing. So I go in, and they put us up on the third floor. It was two different floors. They had the 10th floor, which was residential. Then the third floor is where all the grown folk was, the business, the astute people. These were the folks managing different accounts. So I go in there, and one thing about me, because I was born in the States, raised in Nigeria, no running water, no electricity, no mom, no dad. Hustle and grind is our nature. It is what we do. It's not even what we do, it's who we are. And so I was like, when I'm in the training sessions for this company, I'm like, this is easy. They said, you got to make 75 outbound phone calls a day. I said, all I got to do is dial numbers and sell these services to these people. This is a walk in the park. So I started calling, not 75, I started calling 100 people a day on that phone, calling these businesses. And I became the #1 sales rep for the company within my first 6 months. A year later, they promoted me to sales manager. And a year after that, they transferred me to corporate because now they moved me from a team where I was managing 14 people to I had a staff of over 60 people at 21 years old, many of them twice my age. And so we became the #1 sales team, not just locally, not just nationally, but for the entire world for the company. Wow. And it was really as a result of just hunger, grit, grind, focus. And I honestly had found it. I was like, man, you mean to tell me they're going to pay me all this money to be on the phone in the AC? Oh, y'all don't know. So we would work a 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift. I'll get there at 9 a.m. and I would leave till 8 p.m. I ain't had nothing to do. So I was in there making calls, closing business because we were calling in California. And as a result of that, when I ended up leaving the company after 5.5 years, I ended up leaving begrudgingly because I was really supposed to leave a year before. I was supposed to go back and finish my my college education because I told you my mom is from Nigeria. So it's either you have a college education or you are an abomination to the family. And so my grandmother had a PhD, and all of her kids have either a PhD or a JD. So my mom is an attorney. Her brother went to the military. The brother under her went to the military. He's in the Marine Corps. The brother under that is an engineer. The twins under them are a physician. So he's an eyeball surgeon, ophthalmologist. And then the baby sister is an attorney as well. And so I am the second grandson, the first grandson of my mother, who's the first child of my grandmother. And so here I was dropping out of college. Well, I didn't drop out. I never really dropped in, if I'll be honest. You know? And so I was supposed to go back to college and finish out, but I didn't graduate. I quit. And it was really because I was so focused and comfortable with what I was doing in the corporate career that after I got promoted to the corporate side of the business, one of my employees, he had been there probably 3 or 4 years prior to me becoming his boss. So his direct manager had gotten a promotion to operations manager, and I came in and took his position, his former position. And so this guy had been in that position for about 2 or 3 years prior to me becoming his manager. And he had been writing faulty contracts. So you didn't order this service, he would slap it on your account, forge up the contracts. And he had been doing that for 2 years. So I ended up getting a phone call from one of the clients that said, I don't recognize this. Who is this guy named Patrick? Blah, blah, blah. So I took it, started unraveling all of his accounts. And it took me about a couple of weeks. And I took it to his boss, and his boss took a vacation. Said, man, I don't know, I don't know how this happened. That's crazy. So we ended up escalating it to the director of the company. She says, man, this is bad. I never forget. She called me in her office personally like a few days later. She says, hey, my husband owns an insurance company. And I told him how sharp you were. I told him how professional you were. You want to probably give him a call. I'm like, what I need to call him? #1 sales team.
Like, I think you need a career change.
With age comes wisdom. I didn't have that wisdom that thing. I'm like, hey, this guy had been doing this 2-3 years prior to me. I'm the one found it out. I brought it to y'all. I'm Gucci. There ain't no issues here with me. I didn't do it. I didn't sell this stuff. He'd been doing this before I became his boss. So a week later, never forget, it was a Friday. We worked a 10 to 7 shift, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm supposed to have left AT&T a year prior and went back to school because now I'm not living at my friend's house on his couch. I got my own couch. You understand? I'm not driving the 1992 Chevrolet Lumina. It was maroon and rust, real rust. I'm not driving that no more. I had the black limo tint on it. Yes, I had the 12s in the back. I'm from SWAT, Texas. Yeah. So I had the 12s in the back. We bumping and all of that. And so I wasn't driving that no more. I'm driving a Camaro on chrome, a fast car. That's what I saw in Boiler Room. I'm like, that's what I want to do. And so I'm comfortable now. I'm making almost $70,000 a year. I'm 22, 23 years old. And they called me into the office. So, like then they'll call you on your phone. You pick up, hey, how you doing? you put on your work voice. Hey, how are you? Hey, come into my office. Oh, sure, no problem. It's about 6:50. No, probably about 6:30. I walked down into the office. In the office is my direct manager, Joe. I'm giving all their names right now. Danny Sell in there too. That's the director. And Joe is not sitting in his chair. His boss, Danny Sell, sitting in his chair. He's sitting in the little smaller chairs. In corporate, they got the big chair, then they got the little smaller chair. So he's sitting in the smaller chair, and he says, sit down. I said, no, I'm good. I'm going to stand. I'm cool.
He's like, no, sit down.
Yeah. They said, no, grab a seat. And Danny said, yeah, sit down. So I sat down. And they told me, we regretfully inform you that we have to discontinue your employment. Continue? What you mean? I'm not a factory object. Discontinue. So we got to discontinue your employment. And your services are no longer needed. HR will be in contact with you. And so I get up out of the office. And as the tears start leaping out of my eyes, I didn't even have enough time to catch them before they fell. I walked over to my desk and they tell me, Jared, you don't have to pack up all your stuff. You can wait till after the shift till everybody's gone.
Wow.
And then you can pack up. I said, no. I want them to see this murder in broad daylight. I don't want no hidden agenda. So I start putting my stuff in the little, they give you a little box. So I start putting my little stuff, my little pictures, my little clothes. No, I ain't take no staple. I put all my little pens and my little thing.
You're like, I'm taking this.
Yeah, I took all my awards because I had, my thing. I had all of our plaques because you would get plaques and trophies and awards and all that. I had my whole thing decorated. I wanted you to know what time it was. So I started snatching that stuff down, putting it in my little box, and people start popping up. Heads start popping up out of their cubicles, and people start coming out of their offices. They're looking. They're like, did they? I know they didn't. They canceled the Golden Child? And it was just a swarm of people. It's like, let me help you. And they helped me pack that stuff, man. And I remember walking out that door, big brown door. I walked out that door for the last time. I turned back, gave him that Denzel Remember the Titans look. I said, man, I will never, ever be in this position again in my life.
Amen.
Since that day to this day, we've been moving forward.
I love it. Well, hold that thought, guys. We got to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back.
Life is better when you are living on purpose, but many times we get stuck in the rat race and in the mundane task of our day-to-day lives, causing most to lose sight of their purpose. That's why certified life coach, inner healer, and business strategist LaFlower Bowie is here to help you get calibrated to your calling through proven systems, techniques, and resources. Order a copy of her book, Principles to Reposition, to assist you with your journey, or schedule a free clarity session to kickstart the journey. After these sessions, clients have stated they found clarity and opened their eyes to things they had long forgotten. So get social and follow LaFlower on all social media platforms at LaFlower Bowie. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Welcome back. And I gotta give a shout out to Portia because she is the one that built my awesome website.
Yeah, I was just looking like, girl, you better work.
I love it. Well, again, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the Vowz. We are just kicking it here with our awesome guests, Portia and Jared. Amazing story on how they started and what really drove them into the field that they're in now. Babe, what you got for them?
So I just have a question. So you guys are actually in network marketing right now, right? Mm-hmm. So what made you guys pick that industry to continue the wealth building y'all are doing right now?
The legacy building.
Yes.
Well, for me, I was working at Victoria's Secret when I first joined network marketing. That was in 2005. The executive assistant to the CEO stopped me when I walked by her desk and was like, "You want to make some extra money?" Because even though I was managing billions for them, I was not making that. And so I wanted to make some extra money on the side as well to actually afford my retail spending. because you work in retail, you got to buy everything that come out because they give you a discount, right? And so I joined then because number one of the mentality of the people. It was different from what I had been experiencing at my job. I was weird and different to my coworkers. They didn't understand why I thought like I did and spoke like I did. And so I was kind of like the odd person out with them. And so when I got around people in network marketing, I went to a live presentation and I'm listening to them talk about dreaming and building and doing. I'm like, yo, like you are my cousin. Like I'm not weird. That's just not a fit for me anymore. That I need to be over here with these people who think like this. And so that's what really pulled me in. If I can make money doing it, great. I didn't make a lot of money in that company at all. I made my investment back, but that was it. But I gained a wealth of knowledge. I got exposed to personal development. I was able to sharpen my axe as a speaker and like all these things that made me feel alive.
Yeah. That's
what did it for me. And so I was always open to just being in that environment more so than anything, because your environment is everything. If you're around people who are talking and believing big, you're gonna start talking and believing big, and you believe what you see a lot. And so when I see this person or that person, retiring early, buying this, buying that, paying off this, paying off that. Well, if I'm in the same circle and I'm doing the same work, eventually it's going to happen for me too. That wasn't happening for me in corporate America. No matter how hard I worked, I didn't make a penny more than my salary. Mm-hmm. Whereas over here, yes, it was a risk being an entrepreneur, but I was able to get compensated what I felt I was worth based on the work that I put in. And that's what kept me in. And then when I met him, it took me to another level because of who he was connected to and how they thought. I was here with the people that I was with in Ohio, and then when I got connected to him, they took me up here. So my belief in all of those things escalated, and so that locked me in.
Yeah, same thing for me. It was a name. So what really pulled me in when I was at AT&T. And I got promoted to the corporate side. I was a corporate sales manager there and had that team that I was managing of almost 60 people. The vice president of the company, Morgan, I'll never forget Morgan. He had the worst comb over. Horrible. But he drove a Porsche. And this is how I knew. It's a whole different level of bravado in corporate, right? Morgan would park his Porsche in two spaces. Yeah. He would park the Porsche in two spaces so you don't park next to him. White Porsche.
That guy.
And so, he was that dude. And so I would be walking past Morgan in the office. And back then, we used to have these little lanyards. Is that what they call? Mm-hmm. The little lanyards. Yeah, come on. What's it called? Toe tag?
No,
it's a lanyard. With your tag, with your badge.
Yeah, it's got your picture on there. Yeah. Right? Got your name and all. Yeah, you can't get in unless you got it, right? So you boop, and you let it go and it just slide right on back. So I'm the number one sales guy. You know who I am. I mean, we killing this thing. Morgan would see me and call me champ. Hey, champ. And, every time he saw me, hey, champ, whether we're going to the coffee room or whatever it is, hey, champ, how you doing, champ? Like, this joker don't even know my name. But I met a man. At the time, he was 30. This was 2004. He was 32, 33 years old. And I came to an event, came to a presentation he was doing. And I liked what I saw. At the time, he was making about $16,000 to $20,000 a week. This was in 2004.
That sounds like Mr.
Bad money.
And I saw the checks with my own eyes, right? I saw the checks with my own eyes. I had got started with the business, and they did another meeting the following week. And I'm standing outside of where they were doing the meeting. I'm waiting on, a couple of guests that I invited. That's what you do in business. You got to have some prospects, you understand? And he comes in, he's walking up because he's going to be doing this presentation. And he sees me out the door. He says, hey, Jared, how you doing? The multi-millionaire? knew my name? I mean, I'm all in. It was from a guy remembering my name that caused me to say, I'm going to do this.
That's powerful.
That's so powerful.
That's powerful.
That's so powerful because he let you know he cared. He that's it. He let you know he cared. I'm sure it's never a dog.
It's the truth, man.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
a storyteller. I can tell that.
Yes. So my next question, because you guys know I've been in network marketing, different companies and things like that, and you know there's so many, and the industry has changed over the years.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving and changing and things. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys still say to those people who say that number one thing, like, oh, this doesn't work. You guys are scammers. You guys are thieves. You're out here stealing from poor old people because they never gonna make the money. But what is your response to that? To still reach the person who wants you to know their name?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm out here scamming.
Those people I don't say anything to. I'm okay with letting them think that and carrying on. It's a waste of time me attempting to explain anything to somebody who's already made up their mind what it is. I'm like, okay, I just let them think that and continue to sift and sort through the numbers. I mean, the person that's really looking to do something, their approach and conversation is going to be completely different. They're going to be asking certain questions. They're going to have a certain temperament, attitude around it. They're going to want more, right? Mm-hmm. And so we've been doing this for so long, we can pick up on it right away. Mm-hmm. And so those are the people that we invest our time with. We don't say bad things about the people who think otherwise. We don't even do anything. We just move on.
And to add to it, you know, sometimes I indulge these people because
you see
I can tell.
I have time. Sometimes I have time. You know, when you got a large team and you got a large, you know, organization, sometimes you have time. And so I just ask questions. You know, what do you mean by that? You know, because here's the reality. Right. Most people's experiences in network marketing or in life shapes their belief. Right. You believe what you experience. Yeah. That's why when you go to buy a car, they always want you to test drive. Mm-hmm. You like this one? Come on, they put you in it so you can have an experience. Right. And then after you have the experience, then they come bring the paperwork. You understand? Okay. And so typically when a person has that level of vitriol or disbelief or skepticism to them, it's because they've had an experience, either their personal experience or someone they know has shared that experience, and they've taken that person's experience to be the truth and not a truth. You understand? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I'll sit there and I'll have a conversation with them to find out where's this belief come from? Because I know we got a buddy of ours, he's 23. He just had an event with 14,000 people this weekend at the stadium where the Super Bowl was played this last weekend or this last year. He's 23. Wow. He's making a couple $1 million a month
at 23.
At 23. I just, you know, I don't know many people.
I don't know anybody
that legally, where they're not looking over this, they're not making that type of money. So, you know, if a person genuinely wants to find out if the profession really works and if they can be successful, there are so many examples now. Like you said, network marketing as a profession has evolved. Social media has changed the game. I mean, it has taken people that would not be successful because they were introverts. They did not like talking. They could not get in front of an audience of people. Social media has allowed people like that to make $100,000, some a month, some a year. And it's leveled the playing field because you can promote, you can market with the click of a button, posting, promoting, and sharing on Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok and YouTube without really having to have what I call great leadership skills or sales skills. And you can make more money literally from the comfort of your home than many people make working a job. So it's for us now, it's one of those things where we'll take the time and find out.
I don't.
She don't have time. She got a 10-month-old.
Yeah.
So I'll take the time with the right people and have that conversation, because here's the reality. Somebody took the time with me.
That's good.
In 2004, I was very negative, very skeptical about network marketing, because my father, who's an attorney, told me that's one of those schemes where all the people at the top make all the money and all the people at the bottom do all the what? All the work. And so I took his influence of what he told me at 16, and it carried me all the way until I met, somebody that talked. I was like, no, that's one of them. I didn't even know to call it a pyramid. I said, that's one of them triangle things. I didn't even know the right terminology, but I took what my father told me and I said what I thought was right. And that's where a lot of people are. And it sometimes takes the right timing and the right person to sow a seed that produce a harvest later on.
Yeah, he's real good at that. That's why we work great together.
Because she ain't got time.
Nope.
She ain't got time. You got a question?
So I did want to know.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh Lord, you gonna bring them crazy poll questions? Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
So I want to ask, how do you guys balance the business, the entrepreneurial stuff y'all got going on, the speaking engagements, the meetings, the phone calls? How do you balance the family, the kids, and your togetherness, your relationship, your marriage? How do y'all balance that? Or is there?
There's no balance. No, there's harmony.
Okay.
It's like a choir. You got the altos, sopranos, tenors, and the bass. Everybody sings a different tune, and when it's their turn to sing, they go all out. And each area of your life, you're not able to give 100% to all areas. Yeah. You have a total of 100%. Mm-hmm. So if you're focused on this and that's getting 80, you only got 20 left for the rest. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to be intentional when you are giving that 80. Mm-hmm. So that in that moment, it feels like 100, or the results can be 100, where you're giving 80 to the business, you do whatever you have to do the extra, plan ahead, because in addition to the network marketing, I have my web design, marketing, and branding business. I have a ministry, Straight Talk Women Talk. I have a lot of different things that I do as well. And so when I'm working on that thing, that's what I'm working on.
Right.
And those other things, because I've done work prior to with them, they can carry over until I'm done with this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you add a baby to that.
Oh, yeah.
Who is 10 months, can eat a cracker and hum like an old man, but still won't hold his own bottle. It's like, Aiden, really? You add a 10-month-old to that who's also teething, and it's like, what planet am I on today? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I have nothing over here for right now. I have to give it all to this. And then you also got to find time for yourself too. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just now getting to the point where I'm in a self-care routine. Mm-hmm. I'm literally just now getting there because I couldn't comprehend anything that was going on. And so, when it comes to the marriage and the relationship, mm-hmm. I mean, we carve out time to date when we can. I would love to have date night like every week, but mm-hmm. that's just not a reality mm-hmm. in our world. It's just not, And so, it's like, do you want to go on a date? Or do you want to take a nap?
Sleep in the car.
And let me add to that, because that's so true. And what helped me with this specifically was two people. Number one, my late mentor, Dr. Myles Monroe.
Oh, shout out to Dr. Myles Monroe.
Monroe helped me with it. He said, you've got to learn how to prioritize, organize, and discipline, POD. Right. And what that means is because, when you're running businesses, when you're married, when you have children, there's so many different moving parts and different elements, and you are a limited resource. Mm-hmm. You understand? So there's certain times and certain seasons that you will be focused on one area of your life. It's just balance is a season. A lot of people don't understand that. Mm-hmm. Focus is a season. Oftentimes, when you're in balance, you're out of focus, and when you're in focus, you're out of balance. And so I grappled with it for a long time until I understood it, and it was like a moment of clarity for me. Like, oh, you're not failing. It's not the season for that. There's a season where we just hot and just there's a season like every day, just hey, girl, get off me, move, I'm back, right? And then there's a season where it's like, child, where you been? You know, it's a season. And if you're not careful and you're not made aware of these things, you'll think something's wrong.
Right.
It's a season. So T.D. Jakes helped me out with it in his book Instinct. He said it's called Juggling Jungles. He said, one day I'm gonna be a great father. Oh, this Monday I'm gonna be the greatest father. I'm listening. I'm attentive. I don't have my cell phone. I'm listening to my daughter's challenge, my son's issues, helping. I'm the greatest father, but I'm a bad husband.
And he'll brag on himself. He's like, I'm parenting the hell out of these kids.
Today, man, ooh,
babe, did you see what
I did with them kids today? I killed it.
Man, I gave them kids my all.
Everything. Look at the show right there.
And I'm in the bedroom in my rocking chair, watching my Lifetime movies, getting caught up, just having. You go, baby, you go. I ain't even have to do that.
I love it.
So we do that. And then, there are days that, okay, I need to be intentional with my wife. Right. Baby, let's, you know what? Hey, tonight we're going on a date now. We're going to grab something to eat. Oh, this weekend we're going to do this. So we're going to do that. You understand? Because now I've got to find days and times and seasons to cater to that area. And there's some times in the business, I'm like, baby, I can't deal with y'all today. You like this lifestyle? We got it. Yeah, the money got. Yes, I got to be here.
Yeah, we on a run, so we
got to make a deposit in order to make the withdrawals later.
So yeah, it's balance is a season and focus is a season, and when you're in harmony, you understand the season you're in, and you don't guilt each other for that season. So she's right now finishing her book. There are times where I know in the mornings at this time to this time. Don't ask, don't know. No, she's in her office for that 1 to 2 hours, and she needs to be focused on that. You need to be with your son, or you need to figure it out. Whatever y'all figure it out because.
But Portia, oh my goodness.
But we talk about it. We communicate about it. Oh, and it's that. You understand?
I love it.
That's the key.
You guys are wow. Now, typically we would have a ratchet poll question right now, but I'm gonna skip. I'm okay with that. But I really want to it be a hot mess because that's the last segment of the show is the poll question. But I really want to touch on the importance of faith in your relationships. I know this hour has gone by so fast. So
I'm doing all this talking. My bad.
No, you guys.
And I can see it. You got it. The word is on the picture behind you guys.
Yeah, faith back there.
So I know it's huge with you guys. So how big is that as far as your relationship, your foundation, and your business?
It's everything. It's everything. It was because it's the scripture Luke 137. It says faith doesn't make things easy; it makes it possible.
Yes,
man.
And so, and that's what it is. The acronym for faith, forsaking all. I trust Him. So, in spite of what is going on, you have to have faith to get through everything. I mean, we tried for 5 years to get pregnant, and so it took faith, like tremendous faith, for that to even happen. When it comes to our professions and stuff, and the work that we choose to do, it's a step of faith. It's a walk of faith. So we walk by faith. Like it's steps that you got to take every single day, and it's important it's the foundation. It is important to every area of our life. I mean, from the health of our son to my mother lives with us. She'll be 65 in July. So it's a lot going on that requires us to have an extreme amount of faith in order to just get through the day.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Jared, I got for you. So when it comes to being the head of the household,
yes,
because we have, more men watching the show and families, and we understand that, you're a great leader. And so how important is that by you walking in your position and your household being in order and you covering your household? I know it's a loaded question, but how serious do you take your role as that husband, as that covering, as that leader when it comes to your wife and your family?
It is my number one priority to be the leader and the man and the head of our house, because we're living now in a generation that wants to do away with roles and identity. Now we've got gender fluidity. Is he a man or is she a woman? The woman's supposed to lead. They're equal. And And I'm like, no. No, we're not equal. The woman is the woman. The man is the man. The man is the head. The woman is the neck. You understand? And so we've got to be in alignment. So I take the role of the husband, the role of the husband. It is the band around the house, the provider, the protector. I take those roles extremely seriously because my identity is wrapped into being able to provide and protect for my wife and my family. And so there's a weight, there's a stress, there are lonely nights, there are lonely days, there's worry, there's fear, there is doubt, all of those emotions. But I embrace them all as a man and say, bring it on. And my faith in God and the ability to get through it all. If I got to walk up and down the house, if I've got to cry about it, if I got to pray about it, if my wife got to console me for a day on it or a moment on it to encourage me, because that is the purpose of a rib. A rib by design is to protect the heart. And so I take that role of husband very seriously. I take it the not just the role, but the responsibility. That's what the role is. It is a responsibility, the ability to respond. We were talking yesterday about a situation that had taken place, and I thought I had grown in this particular area because that's what leadership is about, right? It's about growth and progression. And you don't really know if you've grown in an area until a test comes in that area and you respond differently. And so I responded the same old way. Y'all don't want to hear the truth.
This is after coaching himself the last time.
I didn't coach myself. I prayed about it. My wife and I talked about it. We come into agreement. And here I am.
Yeah.
An imperfect man, an imperfect husband. And I dropped the ball again. Now, watch how she handled it. She didn't say, God, Doug, what's wrong with you? You can't do nothing right. You didn't. No. It was baby, I saw how, because it's all about approach. Mm-hmm. Are you approaching, because you can't correct what you won't confront.
Right.
How do I confront you?
Without you being offended.
Without you being offended by it. It's got to be the right time. You've got to have the right temperament.
Everything.
So we can receive. Everything doesn't grow in every environment. It's got to be the right environment.
Right.
And so as a leader, as the head, it does not mean, the head requires counsel. Correct. You understand? The president of the United States, he has advisors. There's counseling.
Right.
Before now, the final decision is still with the president. He got to push that button. I still got to push the button. But I trust her. Because men see, women feel. So I can see something, but let me see how you feel to make sure we're in alignment here. Because I don't want to see and you don't feel, and now we're here. You understand? And so as the role that I'm in, the responsibility, I love it. I deal with it through the good, through the bad, through it all. Because at the end of the day, I want to stand up and say, I stood.
Amen.
I think he just brought a sermon right there.
That was a whole word. That was a whole word, right? Right? I love it. Oh my goodness. So guys, as we get ready to wrap up, let our community know where they can find you, where they can connect with you. I know we shared their website, but let them know, what services you offer. Portia, I heard you write your first book. I love it. Because I know you said that's not what I do. So I'm so excited that you doing this.
And what led you to write a book at this particular point?
Obedience. Anything I do is because Jesus told me
Thank you,
to.
Lord.
That's it. It's not because I have the time or any of that, or it's just I don't do anything until God says so. Yeah. Everything I do is when He says so, and it's not about anything else other than being obedient to Him. But yeah, so I have my web design, branding, marketing company, the virtual business boutique. I design LaFlowerBowie.com. So excited. Amongst others. And so then I have my ministry, Straight Talk Woman Talk. And this is where I shared my testimony, my supernatural pregnancy testimony there. And so my book and everything I'm getting ready to do is flip that switch back on with my ministry and get the ball rolling with that again. So that's getting ready to be the focus for me. And so so that is what I'm doing. So straighttallwomantalk.com,
Yes.
virtualbusinessboutique.com.
Yes.
Everything is linked on our website.
Yes.
When Dreams Collide.
Mm-hmm.
And so When Dreams Collide was when we were dating, and we were first getting started in network marketing. We were broke. And so we used to have $5 date nights. I would get a pack of the leg quarters from H-E-B for $3 and some rice and some frozen vegetables for $1. And we would get a movie from Redbox.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So we would have date night in my apartment. And late one night, there was a sermon came on from T.D. Jakes, and it's called When Dreams Collide.
Yes.
And that was in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And we held on to that. And that has been part of the branding and everything that we do is when you take two people who have their own identity in Christ, their own vision and purpose as well, driven and everything, we come together.
Yeah.
It's a collision that shakes up hell.
Mm-hmm.
And removes boundaries and removes all of those negative things that can get in the way of you being progressive. And so we are a traditional kingdom family. Mm-hmm. We love it. And everything we do with When Dreams Collide is focused on kingdom, business, relationships, and purpose.
Yeah. Awesome. You can find me in the trap. It's going down. Y'all didn't want to ask the ratchet question.
Man,
I don't let y'all think I'm Paul only. I'm Saul too. Amen. All right,
well, Portia just hit a chord with me. I don't care how much money, how many zeros you got in that bank account. That $5 date night sometimes is some of the best dates you can have, even to the day.
Right?
Keep it simple and plain.
That having those laid a foundation, because you're going to go through many rivers and valleys throughout your relationship, and if everything is always up, you don't know how to act when it's down. And so because we had those experiences, we always know how to pivot no matter what's going on. We always know how to pivot and be like, are we here now? Oh, okay, bet I know what to do. No, I'm cooking. Right?
Exactly.
Piece this together, add this, subtract that.
Yep.
It ain't what you wanted, but you full. And so
Love it.
Exactly. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
You guys for having us. Check out the website. Connect with with this amazing couple. We just love you guys, and we gotta have you guys back, and so we can just have a whole wretched poll question.
that'd be fun.
Super fun. Most of the questions come from the shade room. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
We be on Shade Room.
You know, the Shade Room is created by a Nigerian, right? So
I did thanks for the
Wow.
fun fact.
Okay.
oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, he's so heavily bound that we're earthly no good now. We can
Exactly. We're gonna have some fun next time. We're gonna have some fun next time we hook up. Thank you guys, and beyond the Vowz, we definitely love you guys. We appreciate you, and remember, never settle.
Always take it to the next level.
Grace
Thank
and
you, guys.
peace. Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.